everyone, welcome back to Bookworm's Buddy, and this is our 5th episode of Series Sunday. Now, the series that I chose for this week is probably my all-time favorite series ever written by my all-time favorite ever author, and that would be Stephen King, and I chose the Dark Tower series. The first book to the series is The Gunslinger. The second one is The Drawing of the Three. The third one is The Wastelands. The fourth one is Wizard and Glass. The fifth one is The Wolves of Calla. Number 6 is Song of Susanna. And number 7 is The Dark Tower. Now, there is a 4.5 in this series, and it is The Wind Through the Keyhole, which I have not read that book yet. I don't even own that book. It is not necessary to read it. It is, like, it's 4.5, so read in between those two. It's a little bit of backstory is what the book is. And, like I said, you don't have to read Wind Through the Keyhole, but you know, a lot of people that I know have actually read book 4 and then they went and read Wind Through the Keyhole. Some have read the whole series and then went back and read it. I mean, it's however you want to do it. My favorites in this series is The Drawing of the Three, The Wastelands, and The Wolves of the Calla. Wolves of the Calla, excuse me. Those are my all-time favorites of the whole series. These first 4, as you can probably tell, are a set. They're a box set. And if you look over here above my right shoulder, you'll see the box sitting up there. I kept the box. I don't keep the books in there. I just keep them on my shelves as is. This series, like I said, is my favorite ever of all time. Favorite. There's no question about that. It's hard to explain in just mere words how I felt when I read this series. The premise of the series is a man who is on a quest to reach the Dark Tower. And he's been on this quest for a very long time. And he meets some very colorful, vivid characters that I will never, ever forget. Sometimes I find myself reflecting back on Roland's journey, and the feeling that I had was that I was a part of the quartet. And I mean, I couldn't even fathom not even being involved in this journey once I started reading it. And when the series was over, I was kind of sad because I felt like I was there and among these characters. My favorite character, I would have to say, was Susanna. And she's in most of the books. As a whole, all the books you realize are needed to pull the story together. And you'll find some of the books have all the characters, some of them have a couple characters, some of them have one, you know, I mean, but they all tie in together beautifully. And Susanna is in most of them, and she just is phenomenal. And Roland said in the book that Susanna brought grace to his life. And I will never forget. That's my all-time favorite line in this series. And I can understand why he would say she brought grace to his life, because she was that person. She was just an amazing character, very well built up, very well described. And I always thought, and I will always feel like Stephen King has a great gift for creating his characters and bringing them to life in a series, in a standalone, whatever you're reading by him. His characters are always very well developed, and it's appreciated, I think, by his readers that you can have a character that's so believable that you imagine them sitting right next to you. And the characters in this series are among the best of his characters. And this series is among his best that he's ever written in any book. And I just pretty much read them all back to back. I mean, I would take a break in between a couple of them. Not long breaks, you know, maybe a few days. And I just couldn't really stop myself from continuing because I wanted to know how much closer Roland got to the Dark Tower. And as you can probably imagine by book 7, The Dark Tower, that he does meet his quest. He does reach the Dark Tower, but that's all I'm going to say. I don't believe in giving away spoilers and this and that. So if you like kind of science fiction, fantasy kind of books, and even if you don't, because I don't, you will probably like this series of books. It's my favorite series ever. That's all I can say. And I was sorry to see it end. But if you like science fiction, fantasy, if you like Stephen King and you have not yet read this, then I suggest that you go out and pick it up and start reading them. I thought there was a rumor that it was going to be a miniseries. I'm not sure. I thought I heard that, but I don't know if they could do the series justice, seriously. I mean, I would love to see all of it come to life on the screen, but I think I'm satisfied with just having the opportunity to read them. So, there you have it. Episode 5. We chose Stephen King's The Dark Tower series. Phenomenal series. Pick it up if you haven't read it. I'm sure almost anybody could probably love this series. And thanks, guys, for tuning in. And stay tuned for much more coming your way. Thanks, guys. Bye.